Starting with our big focus on magic bricks. Now, perhaps one of the biggest and the most crucial reforms, GST or Goods and Service Tax Bill, was passed unanimously in the Rajya Sabha. The GST bill aims to bring in a standard rate of about 18% and in turn replace other taxes like central excise duty, additional excise duty, service tax, additional custom duty, special additional duty, VAT, central sales tax, entertainment tax, entry tax, purchase tax, luxury tax and octroi. Now, after the passage of the GST bill, FM Jaitley spoke exclusively to Times Network's political editor Navika Kumar. Listen in.
I think it took time, but it showed Indian democracy at its best. People who had reservations, their questions were answered in the course of consultations over the last few months. Major national parties had a discussion and converged to a particular point of view. And I think without compromising on the basic fundamentals of the bill, we were able to bring all political parties and all state governments on board. There was only a solitary exception. And the fact that after such a long debate, the Rajya Sabha, which is a very divided house, has not only passed it but passed it unanimously. I have said that this is probably a great moment both for Indian democracy and Indian federalism. They are at their very best.
Mr. P. Chidambaram, the former finance minister, did make it a point to mention the fact that this bill, when it is brought as the central GST or the integrated GST, should be a financial bill and not a money bill. He's still playing at the number game that the Congress is having a overhang about?
Well, I think what is a money bill and what is a financial bill is neither a matter of assurance nor demand. It's a matter of the Constitution. The Constitution and the parliamentary practice is very clear as to what is a money bill and what is a finance bill. In the last 25 years, not a single taxation proposal came out only as a finance bill. They all came as money bill. That's the convention. I have a folder which I displayed in the House of all taxation reform bills which Mr. Chidambaram himself introduced in Parliament as money bills. Article 110 says, what shall be deemed to be a money bill? So anybody giving an assurance against the Constitution doesn't take the definition of a money bill. I have no intention of bringing the bill in one form or the other. In what shape it will come will depend on what is the draft finally approved by the GST Council, thereafter by the Council of Ministers.
But for the common man, Mr. Jaitley, the fact that he is insisting that this should not be a money bill, is it still the fact that the Rajya Sabha should not have a right to reject it? And once again, the Congress wants to have an upper hand over the BJP, at least as far as the Rajya Sabha numbers are concerned?
Let's be very clear. There is a 66-year-old practice since the Constitution came into the force. And that practice is supported by the Constitution itself. On certain categories of legislation, the primacy lies only with the Lok Sabha. That's a part of the Constitution itself. The directly elected House has that primacy. Now, if there are other matters which are added to that bill, then it becomes a finance bill and then it can come to the Rajya Sabha. Now, it will all depend on the nature of the particular bill. And that nature will depend on what the finance ministers of the state sitting with the centre will approve in the council. After all, that council will have 7 or 8 Congress finance ministers also. They'll have 2 CPM finance ministers also. And therefore, that's a body which reflects the cross-section of Indian political democracy.
Was the former finance minister P. Chidambaram laying a bait for you, Mr. Jaitley?
No, I am not getting into all this. I think the fact that Congress party today has supported it, I express my gratitude to them, and therefore I am not getting into a game of who was playing what tactics.
Mr. Jaitley, the cap of 18% is again something that came up during the debate. Do you think that debate has only been postponed for the moment?
You can't have a situation where the centre is expected to spend more, give more to the states, give more compensation to the states, and yet not be allowed to raise revenue. Then you will have a bankrupt centre. And that is why I said India is a union of states. For India to survive, the union must be strong. The union has to survive. Only then the states can be strong. Now, the guiding principles which the empowered committee has laid down are very responsible principles, that we'll bring the rate down from the present 27 to 30% levels down significantly, but we need enough so that developmental activity can go on.
Just one last question about the common man. Some of the people feel there is an apprehension that services like eating out or air travel might become more expensive. What would you say to those people?
Manufacturing taxes certainly will come down. VAT taxes certainly will come down. At what level the services taxes are to be kept is a discretion of the GST Council. Now states will also have a say as far as service taxes are concerned. And therefore, it will all depend on what the states eventually, along with the centre, decide.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.